Okay, conspiracy theory.
Continue, please. I again.
Don't you think there's something demonic about that? Don't you think there's something weird?
I would not be surprised if in church this Sunday in church, a lot of pastors are going to be talking about iShowSpeed and the demons. And if we write on Google iShowSpeed demons, we'll find some very top-notch conspiracy theories. If you want to grab land in Africa, all you need is a rhino, because conservation. The whole conservation practice is actually one very big attempt at land grabbing. It's just one big front for land grabbing. Yeah. Well, there's a new motivator for how you actually carry out land grabbing across the world, and that new thing is called
carbon credits
and carbon offsetting schemes. Approval ratings have very little effect on election outcomes. You could be the president with the lowest rate of approval, but you can still win an election. It doesn't mean much.
Okay.
Yeah, it's still quite possible, which is why, like a lot of people are really asking Gen Z, it's fine that you don't approve of this guy, but where you must level up and mature up and figure out what political action looks like. Otherwise, what you're saying, even the Ruto must go slogan becomes empty.
You have medication?
Hey, dude.
Oh, yeah, you have medication. This guy is good, huh?
So I thought that guys usually wear shades on this podcast of yours because they're assholes. Kumbe, it's because of the light.
It's because of the light.
I didn't know.
So you see how bright it is. When do you think I'm an asshole?
Maybe.
Byron, are we recording, by the way?
Yes.
All right, this is all going to be inside.
If you ask Byron nicely, you know the light.
Yeah. The guy, Byron. Yeah. Byron surprised me today. He's such a good editor. He does everything by the books. Look at him. He looks like the man's man. And then when I was taking the orders of coffee, I was asking everyone, what do you want? So Eric was like, black coffee, neat. Madung was like, cappuccino without sugar. You know what Byron asked for? Hot chocolate.
Is that your nickname? No, they call me hot chocolate.
So another question for people who want to start podcasts. I'd recommend getting headphones. Because that way, if you have 3 people or more, we can actually hear each other when we talk, and it sort of fucks with you mentally and you shut the fuck up. Because normally, if you don't have it, you talk over each other. So in post, it's a bit hard to edit. But here, I can hear when there's probably a third or a second person wanting to talk. Like, how does it feel, me being inside your brain right now?
I don't like it. I'm like no homo.
Okay, guys. How sexy is my voice? Just close your. Let's do it. Everyone in the room.
I'm not doing this.
Close your eyes.
I'm not doing this.
Close your eyes.
What are you trying? First, you're giving me sweets. All of the.
By the way,
now you're asking me how does your voice sound in my head?
This is nice, eh?
It's very nice.
You want another one?
It's very nice. It's very no. I don't want people like hearing the voice of me sucking on a sweet.
Oh, by the way, shit!
Podcast.
I never thought about that. Sorry, guys. Shika.
I'm like very, very, very homoerotic.
Icebreaker duo. I mean, okay, but let's do a test. How? Because this, when you're speaking, my voice, ladies and gentlemen, vote for President Kibe in elections 2027.
I'm surprised you've not become a full-on campaigner.
So what you need to do is you need to talk more in the mic.
More in the mic. So can I move it?
Yeah. So as long as yeah,
can bring it closer.
Yeah. So as long as it's pointed towards your mouth.
Okay, good.
I can pick it up, but I can't pick up his voice now. Ebu?
Now?
Ebu, talk?
Testing.
Yeah, that's better.
Testing, yeah, this is better.
That's much better.
This is way, way better. Okay.
So you see, the way we're figuring it out, Mimi Saya Mbila studio. So
you're a squatter.
I'm a squatter.
You're a squatter.
Squatter in the house of Eric Motiso.
Imagine.
What do you think of his studio?
It's amazing. It's amazing. I was like, this is what I want to do with the spare room. If I ever have a spare room.
Would you start a podcast of your own?
I don't know. Do I have enough time to waste?
I think what's happening is also you're not speaking loud enough, by the way, because of the...
Oh, because I'm not... Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Will it be a problem?
But it keeps in the zone unless you don't want to...
No, but will it be a problem
I think in
The voice
I think
will-
I think in post Byron will do it. It should be fine. Yeah.
Oh, okay. But in post it will be fine, eh?
Yeah,
Okay,
but-
but can you hear me?
I can. It's in and out. When you go closer, I can hear you much better.
Will it affect the levels of the podcast?
I'll fix it. But
We have an Otoyo over here, Bwana. Don't worry.
but at all times, make sure at least.
Yeah. Of course, we'll try to be as close to it as possible.
So I'm not
I
trying.
move a lot when I talk. So.
It's okay. That's fine. It's completely understood. I'm not trying to be gay,
Why are you gay?
but like, have you seen this guy's arms? Like, Yanni, what is it with black people and just being in shape?
No black people lose
He's
and
senior.
being in shape. Byron, flex your arms for us. Yeah.
He's a low as well.
You can tell. This guy is Otoyo Unlimited.
I'm not racist. I don't see color.
This is something people say before they go and say something extremely racist. Go ahead.
Okay, so the slang term Django, is that derogatory?
No,
So I can say Django.
you can.
Okay, so I have a Django cat in my neighborhood. No, because
What do you call him? Django and
no, his name is Lobido. See, that's a Django name.
Yeah, I don't know. Lobido is not a Django name.
It's not? Okay.
But you'd be surprised. Maybe there's someone out there called Lobido.
So I told my fiance about your
Probably the high libido. Anyway.
Lobido with libido. That I caught up with Madung, who's an old friend from Saints, and he now runs a very successful firm called Odipo Dev. So what she did was, when she saw the cat Lobido, she thought it would be a Django cat. So she created Lobido CEO of Odipo Dev, and I showed you that picture. We can put it up over here.
Oh, man.
So it is in essence, I think we need to get that framed for you, and we put it up in possibly your offices.
I would love that.
Yeah.
I would love that.
But
Cat
anyway,
picture.
we were together over the weekend, catching up with All Saints guys. Shout out Paul Kibati. Shout out Victor Nyango.
Fastest man on earth.
Bro. And shout out Asad Omar.
Oh, it is sad. Yeah.
Victor, I have no idea how he could get that speed. So Victor's a Django.
Yes, he is. Yeah, Nyango.
Onyango. Yes, Anyango. And he used to tell me there's Onyango and Anyango. So Anyango is from his grandmother.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So normally, do you take the name of grandmother or grandfather? How does that work?
I have no idea. I've taken the name. I'm Odanga Madung, right? So for me, it's father side, right? But I don't know the dynamics in which people end up with it. You'll have to ask Victor. I think when we have all four of us
Yeah, that would be a
on
nice
the pod,
episode.
I think that's gonna be a dope episode.
We actually caught up on this past Saturday. We had gone for barbecue. What was the place called?
Mito Max.
Mito Max. Not
Mito
bad.
Max. Not bad.
I thought it was
Not
a bit
bad.
pricey though.
I mean,
It's like
building-
3,000 bob for something that one of us could eat.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
I mean, maybe I think maybe you're trying to pack on the weight. I don't know.
Watch your food. Hey.
But I think no. I think for me, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad.
It wasn't too bad.
It wasn't too bad.
Did you guys
It wasn't
go
too
out
bad.
after that to King Gillis?
I didn't. We are on the record, so I can neither confirm nor deny.
But how have you been, man? I think we did 2 podcasts last year. Ever since then, you had traveled and you're now based in Boston.
Yes, partly based in Boston. I'm in and out, but yeah.
Sasa, and you're flying business class to go to Boston.
Apana. Those are allegations. I am on a student budget, my friend.
So tell me, what are you doing in Boston right now?
Yeah, so I'm currently a fellow at the Harvard. I'm a fellow at the Harvard Kennedy School.
What does that involve? How does that work?
So basically, my job is to carry out research and contribute to academic life at Harvard. So my current research thesis is actually looking into how carbon credit schemes that are largely funded by tech giants across the world, partly, right, are displacing indigenous communities across Africa. So, that's mostly it. Basically, a lot of previously, there's a guy called Mordecai Ogada. I think you'd love to have him on the podcast. But one of the things he says is that if you want to grab land in Africa, all you need is a rhino. Because conservation, the whole conservation practice is actually one very big attempt at land grabbing. It's just one big front for land grabbing. Yeah. Well, there's a new motivator for how you actually carry out land grabbing across the world, and that new thing is called
Carbon credits.
carbon credits and carbon offsetting schemes. So
Funny you mentioned that. There's a former colleague of mine who's actually started a company in regards to carbon credits where you can buy carbon credits to offset your footprint. And maybe we could dive into that because I'm still trying to understand the concept of how it works. So, for example, if you're a car manufacturer, you pollute there, you put a lot of stuff out. So in order to get green, you buy carbon credits.
to get carbon neutral.
To get carbon neutral,
Yeah, that's the word.
you buy carbon credits. And you buy carbon credits from companies that may be
From a marketplace.
from a marketplace. But
Yes.
he was mentioning that there are different sources of carbon credits. So
Yes.
there's involvement in maybe planting more trees, which is the basic one people know. There's something to do with cleaning up the ocean or
There's also grazing.
grazing,
Which
swamp.
is what's common here, which is what most people tend to use grazing, especially the conservancies, right? So they'll tend to direct how the local communities will graze, across the different parts of the land in order
Okay.
to supposedly generate some carbon credits from that. But a lot of investigations that have actually come out have shown that, wait a minute, that a lot of this stuff might actually be a huge scam.
Really?
Yeah.
And is it specifically
And the
to Africa?
valuation, no, actually, it's across the whole world. Across the whole world, there was an investigation that was done by The Guardian, I think about 2 years ago, that looked into, number one, how the valuation of these things are actually carried out. And yeah, a lot of the time, even what is purported to be the amount of carbon that is sort of offset by the schemes themselves actually don't do jack. So everybody, like when they approached a lot of the companies that had been paying for this, it's like everybody got pissed off because they were like, wait, we thought we were actually trying to solve an actual problem here. Or maybe they were pretending to, but then they realized, oh, wait, it's one big Ponzi scheme.
Okay, and now your research, what does that involve? How do you do?
So mine is like mostly looking into the human effects of that. Yeah. What does it mean when we look at this entire value chain of this thing? And what are they, like, again, how does that, what does that mean for, how do I put it, the power structures within these communities, right? Because you've got people like communities that are agreeing to sell off their land or give off their land to some of these companies. But then for a lot of the young people, perhaps who are sometimes within those communities, they're saying, look, you guys are actually gambling with our futures. We don't want this. So it's driving a wedge, especially a very clear generational wedge within some of these communities.
Interesting.
And yeah, my job is now to try and figure out how to tell that story. Or rather, what is the necessary effect that we need to be watching out for? Because this won't be the last time that, you know, a bunch of white people decide what we are going to do with our natural land. Yeah, it won't be the first time. So it's going to come again and again in different forms. So there's a very historical precedent as to how people think about our wilderness in general and about our land especially. So that's the kind of thing that I'm trying to understand.
So it's a research-based thesis,
Yes.
and it's over the course of a year. You're doing 1 year intensive.
So 1 year plus, you know, you get to go on to campus, engage with a lot of the professors that are there. Again, attend lots of events, create events yourself. So it's a very full-on engaging program.
How do you get this information on the back end? Are you interviewing people? Are you going on ChatGPT and
Those
asking?
It's funny. I mean, typically the main method is largely through interviews. So just getting access to the right people who have, to the right people within these communities, and also looking into the markets themselves.
Okay.
Who's buying, who's selling, and what's the verification process by which they actually decide that, oh, you have bought all of these credits, go ahead and offset them.
Okay.
Right? So yeah, that's in essence what I'm largely thinking about.
How did you come across this, bro? Like, how does this opportunity fall on your lap? Because I mean, it's brilliant. You're working there. I mean, you're not working, but you're based. You're in the student life as an adult with a bit of financial independence as well. So you get to enjoy a bit more, right? And in Boston, of all places.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that number one, the place is cold. It's a bit cold. But I mean, I'm in and out, so I'm not spending all my time there. So I'm spending like a month in, a month back, a month in, a month back. One thing I can say is, when most people ask me, "Oh, how did you get in?" I'm like, I just applied. Like,
you just straight up applied?
Yeah, I was just like, I think this is I've always wanted to go here. The opportunity came, and I decided, let me give it a shot. And out of almost 3,000 people, I got in.
Bro, that's dope. It's a full-on scholarship. Everything is taken care of. Oh?
Actually, they like sort of give you a stipend to be able to work on your research. So but in essence, that's how a lot of people tend to think about it. So it's a good opportunity, I must say.
No,
I'm
very proud of you for doing this, bro. This is big moves.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I'll say is that one thing about Harvard, what they do is they're very good at making sure that the biggest events in the world are happening on campus, right? And I usually tell people all the way until the Epstein files. The biggest controversies in the world somehow have their nerve center around Harvard, which is an interesting thing to see. So, I mean, I'm just grateful for the opportunity and trying to see how to leverage it best. Yeah.
And how's the political landscape within states? Do you keep in touch with that when you're there? Do you see a lot of it happening on campus, or is it like a neutral zone where this doesn't exist?
From what I can see, I haven't been able to interact much with that political landscape while I'm there. It feels very much like a utopia of sorts. You don't get to
it's safeguarded from
very
inside.
it's not what you see like on the clips online and all that stuff of ICE agents everywhere and all of that. Like it's very different. And then I think that campus in general still has a very left-leaning vibe to it, right? It's not yet. There is a rising side of it that is very focused on the right, but not so much. Not so much. Like it's not that present, right? But though I must say that it's also a fairly open place. These are academics, right?
Okay.
So people are open to debate and open to actually think about on this, at least through the side that I've experienced. Huh?
Sure.
The other sides of the American campuses have been a big part of the debate within America itself about what actually goes on in terms of its politics. I mean, Charlie Kirk was shot on an American campus, right? I don't know, it was a campus in Utah. Yeah. So they're still very polarized places to be, very many. But me, from what I've experienced, it seems like a very tolerant place.
When you describe left and right, that justification of personalities and beliefs, did that stem in the States? Are you aware of that? Because in Kenya, that word really didn't exist until the last 5 to 10 years. If you think about it, we didn't have that here.
Yeah, and I don't know what.
So far left is what, like lesbians?
And then the right is what, the gun lovers.
Yeah, exactly. GTA 6 guys.
GTA 6 guys, and then the far left is so in terms of the definitions of left and right, left basically tends to lean more Democrat, right? So they are the people who are more into wealth redistribution. For example, the mayor of the Islamic Caliphate of New York.
Yes.
Mamdani, right?
Yeah.
They're more into LGBTQ rights and all that kind of stuff. More human rights leaning. Okay, to some extent, different types of human rights, but more human rights leaning and all that. And right tend to be more pro-business, right?
Okay.
Or rather, more outright about how pro-business they are, and also more in favor of guns and the whole free speech debate and all that kind of stuff. That tends to be them. And of course, it's split by states, right? So different states that are, I'm not sure which color it is, but different states that
exactly
tend
red,
to lean,
red and blue, and
red and blue, and
okay.
Different states tend to lean into those places. But it's mostly just, again, largely defined by what the white people in America, where they lie, and then the rest of the populations decide where they're going to.
So if we look at it like LA and that whole sphere around it is very far left.
Yes, very far left. They even literally call it a left bubble, a leftish bubble. Yeah.
If you look at the southern states, we're going to burn the whole fucking world. That's far right.
That's very right wing, especially Florida and the rest. Yeah.
If we look at our Kenyan presidents, Moi, far right.
I don't know. You can't describe them that way because we don't have that kind of political allegiance.
But based on what you were seeing.
No, still tricky.
Still tricky.
I mean, most of the time is the thing that our culture and our political culture tends to favor a lot of what we call conservative values. So they tend to be a lot more, as per what white people in the West think, more right leaning.
Yeah.
So we are not open to LGBTQ stuff. We are not. What else? We're not into.
But it's changing. Have you been to Alchemist on a Friday?
Like, we're not into abortion and all that kind of stuff, right? But it's also very performative, right? Because as a society, we are very good at brushing things under the rug, right? So this is a country with almost 800,000 abortions happening every year, right? But on a social level,
This country.
yes,
800,000 abortions a year.
yes, with majority of them being amongst married couples. Yeah, but we are in a country where it's not a socially acceptable thing. Yeah,
It's still looked down upon.
It's still looked down upon. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's still something that is allowed in the constitution. Huh? So we have to, there's a part of it that, we have to decide for ourselves what we really want. But most of the time, I usually say, as the unwritten contract of this society is that we're largely a conservative society.
But it's changing, don't you think? So I think with the influence, especially of expats coming into this community, those norms get adjusted.
I think it's more than that. It is...
and international influence as well.
Yeah, international influence, the influence of media, all that kind of stuff.
The propagation of the evil doers. Do you believe in conspiracy theories?
I'm a huge conspiracy theory person. Tell me one.
So the agenda of the Baphomet guys, the Illuminati, is
who need to come back into music, by the way, because ever since they left music sucks.
They left music.
I don't know where they are, man. But you can tell the Illuminati are not in music anymore. You don't see it.
I don't get that train of thought. Let's go with it.
I mean, you don't think there was a time when everybody used to say that Jay-Z was the king of the Illuminati. Then when Rihanna goes and does this in the Umbrella music video, that's a sign of the goat. Right?
Okay.
And
yes.
Beyonce is like a mystic witch and all that. That time their music was peak.
But
I think Byron will agree with me, right? That time their music was peak. And I was so guilty of listening to that music. And then now suddenly, I don't know, we don't hear as much conspiracy theories about the Illuminati music.
I think it's there, but it's a bit more subtle because people have caught on. And
really?
Let's look at music videos. There was, what's that music video for Justin Bieber where he has graphical stuff happening? It's one of these, I think he did...
No, I've never watched a Justin Bieber.
Remember Justin Bieber's album in 2016, 2017? The one
Why
that
were you
was
listening
banging.
to Justin Bieber in
That was
2016?
one of the sickest albums. The one he did with Diplo.
Why are you gay?
Let's be honest. Let's give the boy his roots. That was a very good album.
No, it was not. Why are you listening to... why are you listening to Justin Bieber in 2016?
We'll put it up over here, Byron.
Yeah.
I'll send you. But there's a video of his that literally has... So it's him in slow motion, and then there's this cartoon graphics being done in post. And there's literally the Baphomet shape coming on him. There's one picture of a dick going through the guy.
Diddy rituals.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And there's a dead dog. So these rituals you have to do in order to get to a level of success is you have to sacrifice someone you love or an innocent thing or kill a child. And a lot of people used to do that. And that's captured in that video so well, but very subtle. You don't pay attention to it unless you go frame by frame by frame.
I mean, I didn't know... I would not be surprised if Justin Bieber had an Illuminati...
100%.
I mean, because he's been in the industry a while.
And he's so conflicted as well.
Is he?
Yeah, he's...
I know he's playing golf now.
He is?
So he's, in my eyes, he's washed of all his sins. I'm kidding.
There's also the rumor train, since we're over here, let's spend a bit more time. McDonald's serving human meat.
Jesus Christ.
Have you heard of that shit?
I no, but I've eaten that stuff a lot. I'm like, what is it?
It's fair enough. You cool it, and it's tied to the disappearing children and missing people. There are millions of people who go missing globally that haven't been accounted for. And if you look at the McDonald's tagline, it served 96 million people.
McDonald's serves, this is where I want you to do your own critical thinking on this, and don't immediately reject it, just let it sink in for a second. McDonald's serves 69 million people a day. How many farms have you passed where there would be enough beef lining up for slaughter for that number to match feeding 69 million people a
Yeah,
day.
because they kind of like advertise. They're like, yeah, we serve, and it's on their sign, we serve this many million burgers a day.
Oh, it doesn't say burgers. It says people.
People.
It literally
fuck.
says
Oh my God.
we serve this many people per day.
And to us, I've always said that
Like, oh, they're serving the people.
ew.
No, they're serving people.
But when you think, okay, let's think about it. There's not enough.
There's
Why have I not thought about this before?
there's not enough beef being processed. And this has been
In the whole-
confirmed
'cause
by
that's daily.
farmers. That's 69 million people a day.
It's not served food or something of the sort. There's a tagline that says that we've served you food. And here's the weird thing. During the Halloween party for Trump, and I think maybe we can find that video, there's a lady on a McDonald's stroller. So there's a McDonald's sign, and it's a stroller going to the president as though she was serving whatever's in that stroller, which happened to be a baby. I'll find that video and send it to you. Like all this shit, bro. And then you go on to
I love it. This is so deep conspiracy.
yeah, it's so deep.
I need to find. I need to like follow your your browser history.
it's weird. And then the other like
Yeah.
there's a heap of stuff where a lot of missing children that happen. I mean, you've heard a lot of missing. Look at me stuttering over here. It's the demons controlling me.
Yeah.
But anyway, a lot of missing children. You've heard of the train of thought where they use them to get this blood of theirs when they're scared. What is it called? Andromeda or something? If Eric was here, he'd correct us. He'd fact check that. There's a special kind of blood or gland or something that happens when you scare children. And then the rich people drink that.
That's fucking crazy.
Okay, so if you've watched the movie Monsters, Inc.,
Yeah.
what's the movie based on? Monsters scaring children so they can get this liquid, which then goes into the back end system. So Monsters Inc. is not a kids movie. It's a movie to adults telling them what they're doing.
Are you?
Yeah, so go check that out. Because think about it.
Man, you need to send me. You need to send me the videos. I'd love to watch them.
It's the same.
Yeah.
It's the same train of thought. They're scaring the kids. There's this. In fact, if we can just search it up, the word is going to kill me. Let me just check it out. Madung, say something. Keep the audience entertained while I search for things.
No, but what I was going to say is this, because the one thing about conspiracy theories is I always tell people it's not that the people who believe in conspiracy theories are bad people. Yeah. They tend to oftentimes start from an inkling of truth.
True.
Like when it's very funny because for the longest time there has always been a huge ass conspiracy theory about how the world's elites have this place where they take children and where they take little boys and girls, right, to go ahead and perform sexual acts and favors on them.
Yeah.
For the longest time, nobody believed that, right? For the longest time, nobody believed that. And it was right up until the highest, it went right up to the highest levels of entertainment, politics, philanthropy, academia, right? And nobody believed it. It was in the most obscure parts of the internet for the longest time.
Yeah.
And then the Epstein files happen. And then you're like, wait a minute, what is going on?
There's also what it says over here: a persistent rumor that global elites torture children to harvest the chemical adrenochrome from their blood. That's what Monsters Inc. is about. Is these monsters go to scare the children so they can get adrenochrome to fuel the back end. The whole movie is an animation, but it talks about that whole aspect. And this all stems to this satanic ritual of getting the kids' blood, which ties to the quote-unquote elites eating pizza. Have you ever seen weird interviews where people are saying, we're eating pizza at each other's
I
home?
have not.
So pizza is apparently slang for human meat and children.
this is very interesting.
Bro,
but-
conspiracy theory, if you want to go, we're going to go all the way.
I'm like, you are deep in this, but let me just say this, which is very important, which is that I do think that the way we tend to, again, like I said, I don't think conspiracy theories are necessarily a bad thing. The thing is that they are actually also a response to large parts of our society that we fail to provide answers for. So, for example, even what you're talking about, the idea of missing children's blood being used, androchrome, what was it?
Adrenochrome.
Adrenochrome, right?
Adrenochrome, yeah.
I mean, you see, the thing is, when you think about the true nature of child trafficking, yeah, and what actually tends to happen with regards to how people's children go disappearing from hospitals, and there are no answers that are provided by the authorities about why their children are disappearing from hospitals or disappearing from school and showing up in other parts of the world.
Which is
right?
a big issue over
Which is
here.
a big issue. I mean, we had a whole pastor running a child trafficking syndicate.
In Kenya.
Pastor Dea. You can look that up. It's one of the most well-documented child trafficking syndicates that have been going on across like the world, right? And he only died, I think, about 5 years ago. But here's the main point. A lot of journalists found out that he had been running. In fact, not even just local journalists. International journalists had identified this entire child trafficking ring that he was running under the guise of a church.
Jesus
But
Christ.
the man was walking scot-free for a very long time, up until his death. And guess where he lived? He lived in the UK.
Did they find
He
the
was
kids?
a mega pastor. And he claimed, you know what he claimed? He is, in fact, now that it's all coming back to me, he claimed for a long time that he could give barren women children, like help them bear children. But in reality, what he was doing was actually trafficking children. That's what was happening. And the number of stories and different documentaries about the kind of child trafficking that happens in this country are crazy. There's another one that was done by the BBC about 3-4 years ago about how children are stolen from hospitals. There's an entire crime syndicate that steals children from hospitals, particularly public hospitals, leaving mothers heartbroken. You've just pushed out a baby, only for a day later to find that your kid has been taken away. And the worst part is that you will go and report about this thing, but nothing will be done. The hospital won't be held accountable. You will be left that pain for the rest of your life.
So
as a result, when our society goes ahead and tries to figure out some narratives in order to sort of provide answers for this, I don't get surprised because they start from a very real inkling of truth. They start from a very real inkling of truth, and we need to find answers, especially around the children.
It's fucked up because
It's fucked up.
I mean, in this day and age, you go and have a kid. Let's be honest. When they're young, you can't tell them apart, unless you go to you go to China and you have a kid over there.
No.
Then you know that's mine. Hili yangu. Oh,
But no, I just need to say that I think when I remember watching that document, and you should check for it, there's a full-on documentary on BBC Africa I did about this. That was that was a thing, like the fact that some babies could not be told apart, like that would happen. Unless I can fact check myself on this, but yeah, that is a thing.
it's a spider web of all interconnected issues. And I came across this tweet, and we'll put it up over here. This was on X by Juma F3. Please note that there is a massive organ trafficking system in Kenya, and the traffickers, have gone ham on kids. Kids are disappearing at a faster rate, from 3 months to 5 years, and they are never found. On Christmas Day, 3 kids disappeared from Garden City Mall. Yesterday, I received a report of 4 kids missing from Mathare Area 4. And if you go to Mathare, Kwachifu, over 50 photos have been posted up on missing kids, which are mounted on the walls.
Please Google, just don't close that window. Please Google a guy called Swarap Mishra.
Swarap? Swarap
Mishra.
That's a chuti.
Former MP of, is he the current? No, he's a former MP.
Swarap Ranjan Mishra, Kenyan politician.
MP of?
Indian-born Kenyan, where is he? He's a Kenyan politician.
Yes,
Where is
Kenyan
he?
politician, former MP of?
He doesn't say where it is.
Just check the MP. It should say
tuko na chuti politicians, yeah.
wengi sana.
Did you know of Swarap Mishra? So there's
Oh.
hope for Sajid Vayani. Yeah?
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I want to take you down the horror story. that is-
Constituency cases.
Yeah, what's his constituency?
You get consider this Kenyan government. Look how they're not even mobile friendly.
Just check. Swarap Mishra MP
Swarap Mishra
constituency.
MP constituency. Swarap Ranjan Mishra is an Indian-born Kenyan doctor, entrepreneur and politician. He is a gynecologist and the founder of chairman of MediHeal Group of Hospitals. He has served as a member of parliament for Keses constituency in Kenya
Keses.
since...
Keses, and that's in Uasin Gishu County, right?
Yes.
Now, Uasin Gishu County is whose county?
And
county? Whose county? Any guesses? I'll give you a sweet. It's the president's county, right?
Okay.
Now, Swarap Mishra is an MP. Just said that is the founder of MediHeal, right? And also, what is he? A gynecologist. He had been running that MediHeal hospital was found by a bunch of journalists to actually have been running an entire organ trafficking syndicate.
Yes. This came out last year.
Yes, this came out last year. He's still walking scot-free. Okay? This is an MP. Okay? We have organ traffickers who have served in our parliament. So, like, the thing about it is, like, again, evil is not, and that's why I don't blame people for believing in conspiracy theories. Evil is not a foreign thing.
Was he acquitted for it? Like, was he taken to court?
I mean, of course, the law is the law, and, you know, there's due process that perhaps is followed. I don't know. I've never followed up on the case, and maybe we can even check and see how far the case has gone. But, you know, when you look at it, first of all, the main thing I want to think about is the victims, right, of this organ trafficking. What happens, right? Why hasn't redress or justice ever been sought for these people? And so again, I do not blame people when they believe in conspiracy theories, because evil is a very present thing in this world. Dark, very dark types of evil. The same people, think about what is the principle of leadership. The leadership is supposed to be there to serve you, right? Leadership is supposed to be there to take care of you. Leadership is supposed to be there to protect you. But the very same people that are there to harvest your organs are the people that end up in leadership in Kenya. And that is a very, very big problem. And that's why Swarap Mishra for me is, you know, amongst many others. But that's the thing about it. We have and I mean, again, guys,
It's
like
so messed up,
this
huh?
Baraza who actually, like, literally shot a guy, yeah? And just, no, or rather, he's yet another guy who shot a guy, but, like, shot him dead, yeah?
Yeah.
And so you're just like, whoa. Those are the people who are supposed to make your laws in some way are supposed to protect you, but they walk scot-free after, you know. So that's why, like, you realize, you know, all the conspiracy theories that come out there, especially around the elites, I'm like, yeah, they sort of start from somewhere.
They do. With the
They
smoke,
do.
there's fire.
And the way they smoke, there's fire. Like me, I think there was all the memes that were, like, showing how when the Epstein files checked and guess what, like, vindication, you know. Even now with this whole Venezuela thing, right?
And
Same thing.
We'll talk
Yeah.
about that. But on this conspiracy theory rabbit hole that I've been diving into, what I realized is humans are just far more evil than you think.
And that's the lesson in
There
conspiracy
is
theories.
some nasty shit going on in this world.
Ata in Nairobi.
Even in Nairobi.
Nairobi is crazy.
I've heard,
Crazy.
you know, the thing is, if you go on the dark web today, you can literally buy illegal goods. Okay? And even on the normal web, you can do that. So, for example, if they're missing children, for example, Sarah, Eric, right, goes missing. There's particular websites that will advertise fridges, Sarah as Eric fridge, for $26,000.
That's in Saudi Arabia.
No, just
Even
yeah,
in Nairobi?
yeah, in different places globally, like where these missing children are advertised as body parts, and you can buy them and do this. In the dark web, you can actually pay folks to go and slaughter other human beings live. Like, you know how these Go videos come from? They all come from this shit. There are places on the dark web where you can see children being basically smashed into pieces. So there's a whole.
And where do you think those children come from?
This
Child
kidnap,
trafficking.
but people pay for this stuff. They go on the dark web, they bid. You know how Speed was streaming? Chat, get me to 48 million. This guy's like, chat, get me to $2,000 and I'll cut this kid's arm off. It's such a fucked up place.
The world, I usually say, so first of all, in terms of what you're talking about, there have been investigations where, you'll find that Kenyans are being sold on like very open marketplaces in Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
And I don't know if I'm wrong. I need to confirm this, because I need to make sure that I come correct, because if I say it, those guys can easily sue me. And
that's fine. Well, you search that up.
Yeah.
There's ways to get on the dark web. There are very many protocols. I don't list them over here, but if you do get on it, just make sure you know what you're doing, because people can follow you back and literally hack into you. And the new guy I brought in, the one sitting on your left, Byron, like that guy, he knows how to get on the dark web. I mean, just there are people here. It's a scary place. That's all I'll say. And the stuff, when you go down this conspiracy theory, I think your algorithm amplifies it even more. The shit you see, bro. In war-torn areas, for example, like Ukraine. Apparently, Ukraine was the hub of human and meat supply. There's a whole train of thought over there. Soldiers who've basically been shot in the leg, guys pronounced dead. They go, they chop him up, they get all his organs, his eyes, they dump the body, and they ship the stuff out. Because Ukraine is also now under such a gridlock where not everyone can openly travel. And so through these gridlocks, people are able to funnel stuff out through systematic means, from body parts to kids to women.
One of the things that's even crazier is when you find the number of Kenyans that were somehow finding their way to the front lines of the war in Ukraine.
But those are private military guys, yeah?
No, many of them also unsuspecting.
What?
Yeah. Like there was a Kenyan athlete, who found himself on the front line.
What was he doing there?
They were shipped off, and they were shipped off to do jobs in Russia, right? And what was funny about it was that many people on Twitter, there was a day when Alfred Mutua goes ahead and says, we just got a bunch of Kenyans jobs in Russia and we are going to send them off. A whole bunch of guys in the comments were there saying, chances are these guys are going to end up on the front lines of the war in Ukraine. And guess what? Guys ended up on the front lines of the war in Ukraine.
And there's no way out of it.
It's very tricky. How do you
take
get
your
out?
Passport.
Yeah. How do you get out?
I've heard that happen in Saudi, in Arab Emirates as well, where Kenyan workers go and
that whole thing is huge. One of the things I was trying to find out, and I'm trying to remember this, but there's actually a marketplace in Saudi Arabia where they sell people online.
I've heard that as well.
Yeah, but the one thing I'm not sure about is whether they're actually using mainstream platforms like Metas to do that.
That's what I'm saying. They do use mainstream platforms. They just disguise it. So they will put 6'4" Dark Vader Kenyan figure.
I once found a guy who was selling tigers on Instagram.
Would you ever buy a tiger if you had the money?
No, too much. It would cost too much. It's too expensive.
No, but you have the money. Right?
I don't know if
Byron comes as an editor. Next thing you know, he's feeding lions and tigers.
I don't know if I don't want to admit on camera if I would buy a tiger.
Yeah? Fazza thinks he's coming as CoffeePump producer. The guy's been put inside a cage.
Inside a cage.
Feed him.
Did you see there was once a video of this Gen Z Goliath guy had taken a trip to Dubai?
Gen Z, the one who speed hugged.
Yeah, the one who speed hugged, and he was like wrestling with the lion. So I think it's like this Saudis are like crazy. I don't know. Is that what happens? Like a whole society die and drink? What happens there?
If you take away pork and alcohol from me, what do? Fly a plane into a fucking building, yeah?
I mean...
We need Farmer's Choice sausages.
That's crazy.
Another conspiracy train
Yeah.
of thought.
Yeah.
Apparently,
Yeah.
meat. So you know how you have grilled chicken and you have steak. You know they come from cows, right? But the meat that's been processed and combined with different things and added
Sausage. basically.
sausages, like sausages, burgers. Apparently, that's a combination of human meat as well. Because think about it, they serve 96 million people a year, or some ridiculous thing. How many cows would that take?
It takes a lot of cows. That's why cows are one of the
You
biggest.
see cows over here.
But that's why. But it does take a lot of cows because that's why cows are one of the biggest pollutants in the world.
Kushuta. Carbon credits.
Serious.
So maybe
Serious.
these human guys, we
Serious,
lose yes, cows
serious.
use humans.
offsetting.
Offset it.
Offsetting.
And maybe that's why McDonald's isn't in Kenya yet. So KFC is here, it's chicken. I don't mean, this is not racist. I don't mean to bring up chicken. No, but we can tell what chicken is. Kenyans can tell. We love chicken. And I'm identifying myself as we.
Okay.
Like, if you give me a chicken bone made out of human meat, I'll tell you that's not KFC chicken. But if McDonald's comes here with all that conspiracy and the burgers that they serve human meat with, you can't tell the difference. And so there's no successful human meat harvesting.
One of the craziest cannibalism stories I've ever heard was, and if I'm not wrong, I just need to fact check myself on this. There's an Argentinian rugby team that got that crashed. Have you heard
And
of
they
the
had to
story?
eat each other.
And then they had to eat each other. I was like, God damn.
Okay. If the four of us crash, who do we call first? Byron.
Hot chocolate.
Hot chocolate.
Hot chocolate.
Any meat
He's
tamu.
well seasoned.
You know?
Well seasoned.
So there's a video. In fact, I was saving this for Eric's podcast, but fuck it, I'll just show you over here. And there's a video making the rounds of a human leg in display at a meat factory. Sorry, at a butcher.
Where?
Yeah, just 1 second.
In Kenya.
No, this is not in Kenya. If it's in Kenya, people.
But you know,
fuck up.
again, this is why I keep saying.
check this. This is, look at that. That's a fucking leg.
That's not AI. Are you sure?
That's real.
Are you sure that's
I'm
not AI?
positive, bro.
God
He's talking
damn.
in it. I'll send it to you. That's a human leg, right?
Oh my God, that is a human leg. But it can't be real.
Daddy, Kulantaka sausages. The guy comes back with this. We're having.
Wow. But
So,
what if it's a
Byron-
gorilla's leg?
Byron, are you?
What if it's a gorilla's leg?
You get
Where we share anatomy.
How does that look like a gorilla's leg?
Yeah, gorillas have legs, man.
Bro, that looks like a 100-meter athlete's leg.
Victor's.
That looks like a leg, right? We'll put it up over here. Byron, are you on Instagram?
Yeah.
But I just
I'll send it to you.
Just to come back again to what you're saying, which is why I keep saying that again. I do not blame people for believing in conspiracy theories. Do you remember Samosa Kanyao?
Samosa Kanyao.
Yeah. Do you know Samosa?
There's a guy called Samosa Kanyao.
No, Samosa Kanyao was this
Oh,
entire scandal
of
which
rat
I think
meat.
happened in not even rat meat I think it was Nakuru or Naivasha. But guys had realized that
Donkey meat or something.
No. Kanyao is kuyo for cat. This samosa vendor had been selling samosas using cat meat.
I heard even when you go to such places, just be careful when you ask for beef fry. It may not be beef fry.
Kenya has had a lot of scandals about its meat. So
That's what I'm trying to
that's
tell
why
you.
I'm
If there's
like,
a possibility where a guy is serving cat, and
Yeah.
he's a samosa vendor on the side of the road, what is the possibility of these large conglomerates controlling us, telling us that they're
conspiracies go
aliens,
very
but
far.
aliens are fallen angels and demons who use wavelength energy to cover themselves as human. So, and then jinns. Jinns look more like reptiles, and they use sound wave energy to disguise themselves, and that's why you see. Remember that lady saying, "That guy's the lady on the plane. That guy's not human." Do you remember that?
I haven't seen that.
Do you remember
Which
there's a
one is
video
that?
like some blonde mama saying that motherfucker is not human. Apparently he looked like a reptile or something. Because what happened is these guys coat themselves, these jinn, they are meant to look like reptiles, they coat themselves with an energy. And if there is a sound that disperses it, they transform all of a
I
sudden.
think one person you need to have on this podcast is the guy that Eric had, Ndura Ringe. I think y'all would love that whole.
But
Side of things.
I wasn't like this. Eric got me like this.
I would not be surprised.
That's the normal guy saying when's
I would not
GTA
be
6 coming out.
surprised. I would not be surprised. I mean, for me, I'm just like, again, I do not blame people because, again, there's so much weird stuff.
Anyway, let's talk about lighter things. Speed.
Tell me about speed.
Yeah, I'm blown away what this kid was able to achieve. So here my train of thought, okay? From a perspective of a young man who's 21, the crowd he managed to generate, I don't think we've seen anything like that. Even fucking Michael Jackson didn't have that star power. But no, okay, yeah. But on a global scale, Raila could walk unrecognized in Ethiopia.
Yeah, of course.
You know? I mean, for me, what would make you scream like a little girl? For me, there's a guy called Greg Plitt. If he came here today, I'd scream like a little girl. But that's because he's dead. So seeing him alive, I'd freak out. But I wouldn't freak the fuck out. Literally, they're guys who shook his hand and like,
They almost fainted, you know.
Which is weird. I mean, carry yourself well. There's a guy in a red suit. He literally got on top of a Prado to try and shake Speed hand, and when Speed shook his hand, he was like this.
Guys took their Prados. It was crazy.
It was crazy. And don't you think there's something? Okay, conspiracy theory.
Continue, please. I again.
Don't you think there's something demonic about that? Don't you think there's something weirdly?
I would not be surprised if in church this Sunday in church, a lot of pastors are going to be talking about iShowSpeed and the demons. And if we write on Google iShowSpeed demons, we'll find some very top-notch conspiracy
Because
theories.
what happens is these Nephilims or these fallen angels, if humans were to see them, they would literally lose their shit.
And I love what you're talking about. So let me explain it maybe in a bit more of a rational sense. Okay, not rational, but let's think about it more pragmatically, right? What are we actually reacting to when we look at iShowSpeed? When, like, that whole 5 hours, I watched the whole 5 hours, every bit of it.
That's
At the end of it, I was like, what the fuck have I just watched?
This was just those kids we used to have in class, like Victor. No, Victor was not that cheesy. But basically, this is remember those guys in school who was like, I can lift this desk with my dick. I can flip my eyelids like this.
Like for real,
just a cheesy,
exactly
being a cheesy on stream. And all he did was go from one place, kick a ball. Go to another place, mix ugali, sit on top of the car. Hug a guy, a basketballer. He just did very basic shit. But the fact that he's Speed. Now, what I'm envious about is the money the motherfucker pulled. Right? He is literally getting sponsorship deals, views, ad revenue, just by being live for like 5 hours. So, I mean, when it comes to it, if the notion whoever has the most of it all at the end of it wins, he's clearly on his way to getting everything he ever wanted financially. So I respect that game. But also what I respect is being able to switch it on for 5 hours and being present and doing stuff that is uncharacteristic of you. Just the energy for 5 hours. Bro, it's a lot.
So for me, I think the key thing is coming back to the key question. What are we reacting to? Because even when I watched the whole thing, because I was also like, what is this? Yeah. And it was easy to tell that Kenya would be the most rabid country that he goes to. Like, if you look at the way people reacted, right? The moment the Bodas start following him, right? There's even a Boda guy who came out and said that there were kids who paid him 10K to follow Speed
I saw
around,
that, yeah.
Right? What is that? And what is he doing? Because we are used to the notion of developing a sense of admiration that you grow up admiring Cristiano Ronaldo. Speed himself, Cristiano Ronaldo is like his god, right? And that's a performative role model, right? He's there because he is. You get, like, he's an amazing striker. You like your favorite musician, you grow up maybe liking Tupac or 50 Cent. Actually, first it was 50 Cent,
It was
right?
50 Cent, yeah.
Huh?
Sorry? Apana, Justin Bieber. No, guys, I didn't like Justin Bieber, but some of his songs.
No, please.
You know I want you.
Spare me.
You get that song is dope. Come on, like the one with Ludacris.
Dude, we are gonna find Baby Well in that bag of yours. But here's the key thing: again, it was a very performative thing.
Yeah.
So for me, I started really trying to ask myself, so what is it that this guy has done in these past 5 hours that I could not do, and that has actually gotten a whole, perhaps it's probably thousands of people.
Bro, they had like 250,000 people subscribed.
No, but on the streets.
Oh, thousands.
Yeah, probably thousands of people. Like if you looked at KICC, like the entryway
just insane
into it, was like he literally led people. One of the things that I loved about that stream was the point when he was in the rally car, and there were like people on the road, and when the rally car would drive through the road, it's like it's parting the sea. Because that for me felt
insane.
Felt a lot like old school rally. Because like old school rally was people were right on the road, and the guys there going at high speed, and everyone just the challenge to run out. That felt like that. Yeah, and so for me it was like the thinking was, what am I watching? And then I realized, oh wait, politicians do a lot of nothing, and we still walk around praising them like gods. And
that's a very good point that you bring up. But don't you think this new medium of streaming now takes over the traditional form of movies, podcasts, and everything?
They all coexist.
They coexist. But if you look at the numbers that this in-person stream did, there's nothing like it.
It's crazy.
What I feel is politicians, celebrities, and so on and so forth, the new medium going forward, podcasts will stay. YouTube short-form videos will stay. Short-form clips will stay. But in live person, you will see a lot more personalities do it. I won't be surprised if you see presidents do a 5-hour stream.
Oh, absolutely. I think that perhaps we're back where we started, okay? Where live TV and live video, think about it just as this, live video is back in fashion. And that everything that we had thought about these young audiences that was wrong, that had shifted, that they have short attention spans, right? That they're all interested in just staying at home and scrolling on their phones. That they will not necessarily watch, that live is not necessarily something that they're that much willing to participate in. All those things were shattered. Right? They came out in numbers.
They did.
People watched that thing for 5. I watched that thing for 5. I didn't even know I had it in me to watch something for 5 hours.
I was entertained as well.
It was entertaining. But why is it entertaining? What is he doing that's entertaining? Then at some point I realized that the whole spectacle
of him being chased by people.
Him being chased by people is actually a very big ingredient of that. And that these people are also part of the labor that is going into making this film, or rather, into making that in real life experience that he's carrying out. I think that I saw the pushback that Kibe was giving to
the
women. I think everybody's right in that fight. Okay? In the sense that
where I disagree with Kibe is that he was applauding us chasing a man who's achieved so much.
So why not?
But
we've been chasing politicians who've achieved nothing for a long time.
No, but what I'm trying to say is what has Speed achieved aside from the monetary and recognition?
I think he's been able to figure out how to build an audience,
which is great
globally,
which is great, right?
But turn something that he's created a form of content that we don't even understand.
But Madung, what I'm trying to get at, would you, a grown-ass man, get on a fucking doothie just at the possibility of having to shake Speed's hand? Would you ever do that?
I'm not a member of the cult of Speed, but I would not be surprised if
Who would you do that for?
And that's a key question. I'm trying to figure that out.
Jesus Christ? Maybe.
But you've said something important, because I want to bring it another analogy. The Christians in the house. There's a story in the Bible where Jesus is moving through, I don't know which city it is, right? Let me just confirm. Touch the hem. What's the story? Which city is it? Yeah, let me just see. Touch the hem of his garment. What's the city?
There was where she was an
old lady. Yeah. But I want to know the city, right? Because that story is a very important thing, right?
While he's looking for that story, would you two ever do what you saw the people on stream do? Chase guys like that? Record yourself and post it on Instagram just in an attempt to shake his hand. Or anyone. Who would you do that for? That's what I'm trying to understand.
But the key question is, basically,
how do you get to his level where you can make men act a fool?
So the key thing for me, it's literally that story is exactly the same as Speed, and not even a Michael Jackson situation.
Tell me the story
Let me
about
explain.
Jesus.
So basically Jesus is moving through a certain city, and he's being followed by these massive crowds. This is like at the peak of
Fame.
of his, which you could call fame
yeah.
right? Because Jesus was a political animal. And you realize that, so everybody's moving around, right? And he's basically surrounded by a huge crowd of people. And there's this lady who touches his hem, and she had, I think, been suffering from bleeding. And then she touches him, and then his power leaves him. And then he feels like he's lost some energy, and then she gets healed, right? And the story goes that if she could only touch what is it called? The hem of his? The hem of his garment. Yeah. Then she would get, if she could only touch the hem of his garment.
So
then
you
he could
leech
get
off
healed.
the energy.
Yes. And that is the same thing as Speed. And let me explain it this
Beautifully
way.
put, yeah.
Right? It's that he is moving through the city. There's this massive crowds of people that are following him. What are they all following him and fighting through the crowds in order to be able to do? Just to get a selfie with Speed. Just to get a glimpse of their camera with Speed. And then after that, their life is accomplished. You'll see a lot of people would come. Speed is moving through, guests come, and then they do, Speed, take a picture. Then once they do that, their life is complete. They go away. If they could only touch the hem of his garment.
That's a very good point.
Then they will have felt like, and it's that to me is crazy.
Do you think there's also
And I mean, the
an
Kenyans
energy?
reacted, and you should see even Ethiopia.
Yeah,
now.
Ethiopia was crazy. I
It's
think Ethiopia,
also crazy
yeah.
again. Same
But
thing.
can I be honest with you?
And
I
it's
think
all young men.
yeah.
Also that. So I understand your concern. I understand that you have a concern about what is happening with young men in Kenya at this level of all walks of life, that they are willing to leave their homes, up until children. And even parents are willing to say, well, let's go and find this Speed guy. What is the deficiency there? Which is fine. But at the same time, a part of me is just happy that, this level of hysteria and this level of mania is not happening for politicians. People are just excited for the sake of being excited. And it's not towards the political class. It's about a young man that, is basically the median age of this country, which is 19. This is the first time that people have felt that kind of admiration and power for someone who is actually from them, looks like them, and represents a dream that they've always wanted to have. And that, to me, I will always vouch for that. No matter how weird it feels, though. I agree with the chicks who are also against it. It feels weird. But you know what? Let people have fun. I think that's also a very important aspect of this thing. Let people have fun. It's very important to be able to go out there and embarrass yourself. And I say kudos to all the young men that went out there on Sunday. I think you guys got the moment of your lifetime, and you got a chance to get something that defined what your generation would be.
Conspiracy theory.
Yes,
You talked
conspiracy
about-
theory time.
You talked about getting energy from someone else just by being close to them, right?
The Bible, not me.
So, do you believe, the thing where you rub elbows, the expression rubbing elbows, comes from, in fact, I saw a video of it from a southern state where a guy's like, yo, touch my elbow and I'll show you something. And the lady warned him not to touch the elbow because that's transference of energy. So if you do that, if you rub elbows with someone who has bad luck, you basically... Sorry, if someone has bad luck and they rub shoulders with you, they pass off that energy to you. So you have a year that sucks until you pass off that negative energy to someone else. And it also goes, a saying is, if someone has a lot of positive energy or someone has the it factor like Speed, by being in his presence, just trying to grab onto him, you ascend to that energy plane.
So
And
let me
it works
explain.
in your levels. And you are the sum of who you surround yourself with.
So
So
think
if the
about it in practical means.
Yeah.
Yeah. For a lot of those people who got a chance to get as close as possible to Speed, what did the next thing they do? They go and post it on TikTok. Then what happens? Your view count goes up because, hey guys, I found Speed here, and it's like, again, he's walking around with video views and algorithmic power in his hands. And if you only got close enough to him, you get a taste of that power. he's literally a tornado, right? Or you think about it, he's like to them, and that's why I'm saying the Jesus analogy of this thing is wild. It's literally wild because the analogy is on a one-to-one comparison. I'm not like nobody's calling him Jesus or biblical here, but it just like if you look at it, it's the exact same thing. You know what's even funny is even the way Gava guys are getting a whiff of it. So if you go to Dennis Itumbi's TikTok, Dennis Itumbi has had like 10 million views on some of his videos about speed. And I was just like, wow, what an amazing, amazing work in reputation laundering. Suddenly, everybody thinks Itumbi is cool again. And I'm like, wow, iShowSpeed, bang for buck. Right?
But I think it's an achievement of what he's able to achieve as a 21-year-old.
What do you mean?
Speed, just from a brand, amazing.
Yeah.
It's
Absolutely.
insane.
Again,
I don't think I've ever seen any celebrity go across different countries and get that level of hysteria from everyone.
You know the way they do in the weather channel, they do like the hurricane is coming, like a cyclone is coming, and you can see it there, and they show you the path.
Is he the biggest streamer now?
No, it's Kai Cenat. I think it's Kai Cenat. Kai Cenat is probably bigger than him. Is Kai bigger than him?
Is Kai bigger than him?
Check.
I think Kai Cenat is the biggest streamer,
Kai
but
is bigger than him.
I think
Yeah.
from a global perspective now, I think Speed has passed him.
Global perspective probably in terms of awareness, but Kai is big.
Because even this
numbers-wise.
tour he's done in Africa,
Yeah, the view counts are crazy.
the view counts are crazy.
That's what
man.
I'm saying. It's like a cyclone moving through.
Bro, it took me a year to get 25,000 subscribers.
Imagine in a day this guy is getting 350. And one thing I also need to say is he's like a literal, because think about again those crowds. Yeah, those crowds cannot have been moving without damage. So many things like an actual cyclone. Yeah, and on top of that, I keep saying this for some reason. I did not understand what I was watching.
Okay,
I did not understand what I was watching.
do you think there's political influence in what we were shown?
Yes, because he was wearing. I mean, it was entirely a political stunt.
Which is good, by the way.
Yeah, because I mean, yes, it's not bad. I
saw
think
the stadium.
let's if we look at it, no. From the moment he lands, I mean, there are some people who've come out and literally said, number one, what was Speed wearing? He's wearing a Harambee Stars T-shirt with the Magical Kenya branding. Yeah, though I wonder, okay, if Magical Kenya are clever, they should put those shirts on sale. They'll probably sell like
100%.
crazy. But again, he's wearing. That Magical Kenya branding is intentional. So what does that tell you? From the moment he's being driven around Nairobi, there's a convoy. Okay? That tells you that this is definitely a state project in that specific sense, number one. And even consider the way he moves around, where he's taken, the access that he's given, right? The fact that he's walked around by KWS officers and when he goes to the orphanage and all that kind of stuff. The fact that he goes to KICC, he's taken off in a helicopter that is by KWS and all that. Like, that's huge. That was a large tourism campaign, ad campaign for Kenya, which I'm like, I'll give it to Gava. I mean,
Can I be honest with you? The last portion, when he was in the helicopter going to see the stadium, but the stadium looks beautiful.
and then the stadium, the stadium
It
looks
looked nice.
amazing.
Let's not
yeah.
hate.
Yeah.
But when he was going through Nairobi, I was like, hey, Nairobi looks really nice from the top.
Yeah.
It looks...
But like a lot of things, when you see it from the bottom,
if you're just viewing it from the video and you don't know where they are, you'd think it's somewhere in America.
No,
Yes,
not if
bro.
you've been to America. America is very different.
I
from
mean, no,
Nairobi.
let's go when he was going towards Karen and those areas. You'd think it's somewhere
it's
in the
suburbs.
Midwest.
Yeah, probably the suburbs.
In Midwest
Yeah,
somewhere, right?
Yeah.
You wouldn't say, in Kenya. Like, you couldn't put it. But then when he got on ground...
Yeah, of course, things get
Things a bit
different.
different.
But I think the thing is, for me, and the angle that nobody's looking at is that the government has largely been at odds and in a very antagonistic relationship with a lot of Kenya's young people since the time it got into power, right? And then you end up in this specific point where, Speed arrives and, it's like they've brought out this huge hook for a lot of young people across the country. And one of the things that was interesting around it was, I think for me, when you think about it, is, of course, yes, it's a huge ad campaign for the tourism, but it's also a reputation laundering machine. The president did a video. I think he was the only president in Africa who did a video, right?
Him.
So what does that tell you? He's trying to access these audiences. I always tell people one thing: never forget that in the aftermath of the June 2024 protests, right? One of the first actions that Ruto did was to hold an X-Space with an influencer. This is a strategy that they've paid attention to for a very long time.
He had a media company that he approached, right, to change his aura about him.
No, not that. That's
No,
just...
well, not a media company, but someone. Like Ruto's image has changed quite a lot.
It's changed quite a bit. There's
But
been
also to access... Actually, no, that was...
That's
maybe
to
for
access the US. That was lobbying.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's a different story. But you get, like, this has been a strategy for a very long time, right? Especially because he's understood that these kids that are giving me hell are here, right? So we're going to try as much as possible to figure out how exactly to appeal to them. But at the same time, and this is why I call it reputation laundering, as I said, the most antagonistic relationship that Ruto has had since he got into power has not been with Gachagua. Okay? He thinks it's with Gachagua, but it's not. It's been with largely a lot of the young people that showed up on the streets on Sunday, and a lot of the young people that showed up on the streets in June 2024. Those two things actually show up from the same place, right? And when you think about it that way, so then why you call it reputation laundering is when you think about the policies, right? Because sports washing, that's how sports washing and other forms of laundering work, that they've served to actually keep you from thinking about the failures of the person that is supposed to be able to serve you. So you think about the fact that, number one, and someone pointed this out on TikTok, that Speed is a Twitch streamer, right? But because of the government's policies, Twitch decided to switch off monetization.
Crazy.
Yeah? In Kenya last year. Okay? So the very thing that made Speed famous cannot be used by Kenyans to make money directly.
That's weird. Fazal, you used to stream on it.
It's true, right? And that's why you stopped. See? That is if you want a story that tells you that, yeah, there's a lady who is one of the biggest gamers in the country, right? I think she got completely screwed by that.
So why did they stop it? What was the policy exactly?
It was a tax change, right? It was a finance bill change that required, I think, them to do either digital services tax or something of that sort. And they decided not to comply and they switched off monetization.
It was already being taxed twice. When you get paid, which would cut it, the only way to get paid is PayPal. When it goes to PayPal, when you put to M-Pesa, they tax you again.
Yeah. So you see the problem? Again, it's the same thing. Again, let me give you another example, right? The same organization that had perhaps the biggest airtime during Speed's stream, which was KWS, right? There is a case in Nakuru of a boy that was killed, Brian Odhiambo, yeah, by the same organization that is trying to rub shoulders with someone who is perhaps around the same age that Brian Odhiambo was. That case has never been solved.
Tell me more about that case.
That's the most I can tell you about it, right? Those are it's online. The details are all there.
Is it recent? Do you guys know about this?
It was last year or the year before last year. Brian Odhiambo death.
So he was shot by a KWS officer.
Brian Odhiambo case, yeah. It'll probably give you, yeah. Let me see if I can do it in a summary mode. Yeah, the case of Brian Odhiambo, a 31-year-old Nakuru fisherman whose disappearance on January 18th. What day is it? 14th. I thought we were there. Yeah, following his arrest by KWS Rangers at Lake Nakuru National Park. The same organization, right? So we've got, that's why I call it reputation laundering, because again, when you really, really think about it, yeah, if Speed was a young Kenyan boy, by now he'd have been, you don't want to imagine what would have happened to him. Yeah. So to me, I think that there's an angle to this in which actually the term I'm thinking of calling it is stream washing, where I think perhaps a few people saw an interesting opportunity, yes, to market, but I think there's, and everybody's doing what they're supposed to do in this whole matrix.
Right.
I'm not saying that speed coming to Kenya was a bad thing. I'm not saying that the government should have done what they did. Everybody was doing what they're supposed to do. I'm not saying that the young people should not have gotten as excited as they should. And like I said, I'm very happy that people are excited. But what is the contradiction that is happening here with the sheer presence of this guy here? This is the first government to switch off the internet.
Throttle it, not switch off.
Switch off. I mean, okay, we'll be...
Allegedly. Kuna engineer alisahau kufungua battery.
But you get what I mean. But somehow they're hosting the biggest streamer in the world, So there's so many contradictions in terms of the story. If you really start to think critically about what's going, okay, not think critically, but understand the juxtaposition of what's been going on, that I just felt like, okay, I've really spent my time thinking about this, because again, this speed thing is one of the biggest, even symbolically, I'm just like, I'm struggling, because think about it. There's also the symbolism of it. Kitambo, think about the generational defining things that used to happen to us as people growing up, right? It used to be that I was there when Shaggy came to Kenya. I was there when the Pope came to Kenya. I was there when Obama came to Kenya. And those things made you stop, right? We're not a culture of streaming.
We're not.
Yeah, many people heard about streaming for the first time, right? The entire population, most of the time, has heard of Shaggy by the time he's come. The entire population, most of the time, has heard of Obama by the time
I think people
he's come.
discovered speed on this tour.
Some people discovered speed the day he landed, or when they just saw a whole crowd of people running after. What is going on? You get. And that is a very, very big bookmark. I think it's actually an actual bookmark. Culturally. It's a cultural bookmark.
I love the way you put your thoughts together. I can see why you're at Harvard.
This is... Please, don't use
Sisi
your...
watu wa USIU. We're saying Makende, sijui Jugu motherfucker.
But USIU guys are capable of saying the word Makende.
Hapana.
They probably call you a dickhead or
I
something
think
like that.
Makende came from Saints. Now, since we're on the point of politics as well, as we how long have we been going on for?
Oh,
Not bad.
Damn.
Time flies, eh?
yeah.
I want to talk about politics.
We have been talking about politics though.
But politics now, specifically politics, because I said in the next elections, I'm going to vote for Andrew Kibe. But you're normally the person that I go and just Madung, what's going on politically? Because you also you keep your feelers out there. You have a better understanding of everything that's going on. There was an interesting conversation we had on Saturday with friends when I asked you, what is the possibility of Ruto coming in as the next president? And I think unanimously on the table, we're like, he is going to come there. And one of the angles that we were looking at was the inclusiveness of Ruto. Is that he's not just me, my people. Maybe there is to some extent, but there are other communities and other metros within Kenya who are receiving treatment, from expansions of the SGR to expansions of airport to brand new roads.
That's if they come.
That's if they come, and it's
Yeah.
And also the strategy and mind behind the man, right? When we look at the lobbying he's done in America and how that's paid dividends for him. I think it was like a $20 million proposition. And is it $20 million?
I think it was $20 million is too much money.
Okay,
That would
I
have
mean,
to go through some form of parliamentary approval.
Whatever he did,
whatever
but-
the amount is, you
yeah.
can put the headline there.
Yeah.
There should be.
But he was able to break down doors. He was able to go for dinners, rub shoulders with the elites in America. What does the next 1.5 year look like for him? And after that?
So I think the key thing is, first of all, those goodies that he's talked about. I think in general, the first question we have to ask is if they come, right? Because in general, of course, A lot of you perhaps have seen some of the stuff that's been done by several investigative journalists, where for a very long time the president actually went on a launching spree, but a lot of the time there was actually no clear follow-up. Right? You'd come, you find a plaque there, and then there was supposed to be a road or a school or whatever it was there, and then it wasn't there. That is on record. Yeah. But the key thing I think we need to think about, for me, I wonder whether what's going on with speed right now is an interesting indicator of what happens over the next few years.
How so?
So the one thing that people have been actually speculating on is that the president has been on a very huge charm offensive, right?
Charm.
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 Yes, charm offensive, where for the longest time he's been doing what we call the empowerment drives. Basically, he has used the power of money, right, to entice voters en masse. Basically, run this one huge national lottery campaign where, again, it's very similar to speed, right? Whereby if you are able to get as close as you can to the president, you might just walk away with a wheelbarrow, or you might just walk away with a barbershop chair, or andudhi, if possible, right? And that has actually been very interesting, even including him using State House as a campaign tool, right? Where a lot of people have suddenly been he's been holding massive rallies in State House itself and getting young artists to come in and perform. And it's been one big charm offensive. And again, coming back to the same thing, that they've been focusing a lot on using artists. That, again, that aspect of reputation laundering, right? While in reality, not really necessarily doing anything in a policy level. That is that transformative for a lot of the people that come there seeking opportunity in the first place. This is that continuation of that kind of charm offensive that I think a lot of people are going to see working for him. People often forget the one thing, that this guy became president despite being an ICC inductee. Okay? Like, he was charged with like some very serious and heinous crimes and was still able to become president. There was a time people were actually saying that even 2 years before 2022, he was one of the most hated people in this country, and he turned that around and became president. Now, I want you to think about the following in terms of his charm offensive again. We have an AFCON coming. Yeah? Next year, there's an AFCON coming. So what does that necessarily mean in terms of what he's able to do? Look at how Kenyans got charged up during Chan. And Chan is a very small thing compared to AFCON, where we'll have Mo Salah coming to the country. Yeah, we'll have Victor Osimhen in the country. We'll have some of the biggest stars in the footballing world here.
Is that why there's a push to build a lot of stadiums as well?
Yeah. Yeah. So I think the key thing is, like, there's still a lot more room for him to actually execute even further on that. Yeah, and people are not ignoring the fact that Ruto was the first president to welcome speed when he came to Kenya. So expect to see a lot more of that, right? Policy-wise, I'm yet to catch up on what necessarily the policies might look like.
Yeah.
Of course, we expect the more of the same in terms of taxation policies, right? I wonder what we will see in terms of security, internal security, in terms of like what kind of repercussions people like protesters might receive, what repercussions NGOs might receive for the kind of work that they do. But man, his ability to turn things around is something that I will say that is sort of good, is quite not even sort of, it's quite remarkable. I will say that as a neutral observer.
Yeah,
I'd say that is an incredibly remarkable thing.
Within the NGOs, you mentioned how he treats them, but I've heard rumors that they're pulling out quite a lot, especially with Trump cutting funding.
The USAID crisis.
Mm-hmm. What's happening with the United Nations Environmental Program, UNHCR, even the UN grounds, there's been a lot of expansion work going into cultivating an environment for the next 60,000 families or something. 60,000 personnel coming in from New York. Is that still happening?
So that's a key question. I don't know what that number is, but UN Ops coming to Kenya is purely an act of survival by the UN, because again, they're getting a lot of funding being cut and they need a cheaper place to be. So why not just come to Nairobi?
So watakuja na hizo left-wingness of theirs?
Pengine. chances are, but of course, we all need to be worried about the fact that these people are going to make this place incredibly expensive. To live.
I think
Expensive.
I mean, particularly the
Very.
property prices. Jesus Christ, they'll go through the roof.
My God, it's going to be insane.
In a way, if you look
It's
at
going
it
to
from
be
a
insane.
positive avenue, I think most of, maybe let me phrase it this way: if you were just to go to any East African country, what's the main thing you do after work? Going out to a restaurant,
Go
maybe
to a
drinking,
restaurant, to a bar.
chilling. Yeah, that's the culture. You have your local. Beyond that, that's what it is. There's not much to do aside from the tourist stuff, right? Which is over and one and done. The lifestyle enablement usually comes in from the push of expats coming in here, where you get jiu-jitsu clubs, you get ice skating rinks, you get cinema drives like Foxin coming back, you get Top Golf.
Foxin is back.
I wish, bro.
I was like, what?
That would be so nice.
Yeah, it would be. It'd be amazing.
Bro, Fox
yeah.
Drive-In was such a good concept where you park your car and you watch a theater.
That
That right now, I think with us middle class guys, we would
guys would be stunting. Imagine
Yes.
there's nothing else that guys would be waiting to stunt on. Like
Bro.
just guys will.
I think that coming back. So the benefit is maybe our lifestyle changes. It does become a bit more expensive, but maybe opportunities for businesses to rise to service that new incoming need and demand also opens up.
I think so for sure.
So it's a double-edged sword,
It is.
but we
is.
take it positively.
Yeah, I think for me it's let's just see what happens.
Yeah.
Not everything that happens is bad. I think that's also one thing and that's what I appreciate you for, man. Like you're not willing to think that everything that happens is bad. It's not a bad thing. Yeah,
Correct.
I think maybe it's not a bad thing. Maybe things are just gonna be fun, and we're gonna have an entire new bunch of people that bring us new experiences, improve demand for businesses, and eventually our economy
For the
expands.
single man, you will get my Latinos over here.
Utapata visa.
Sindio? Mwende edit Siju Jorogan's podcast. You've got a visa.
Funny.
What's the plan for the rest of 2026? What does Odipodev look like? What does Harvard look like? What does Madung's future look like?
No, I'm relaxing, man. We have an election in 2027. I think for me it's just to do other things before, because I think I want to spend my time just expanding and my brain and reading a bit more deeply.
Yeah.
Expanding partnerships, talking to different people, because I think one thing that Kenyans are very ready for, and it's not foreign to us, is elections, right? Okay, so for me, that's how I think. But the other day, one of my friends, John Allen, challenged me and told me, man, we need to stop thinking of our lives as election cycles. We need to start, as a country in general, even as a people, we need to start thinking beyond elections.
But that's how it works. Like even sales. I know I have to get as much as commission as I can this year.
This year,
Because
because
in 2027, no one is going to do any hardware refreshes. All deployments will be paused.
Exactly. So that thing, I wish people really understood how much it stunts our imagination. Right? And that as it's very high time as Kenyans, we started figuring out how to beat this election cycle out of our psyches. Yeah. And even out of how we do business. Okay? Because it really tends to affect even just our own imagination.
Correct.
Somehow, in general, again, coming back to this, what else is happening in 2027? AFCON. But somehow very few
It's
people...
before elections.
I think so. But somehow nobody's thinking about that. Like very few people are preparing and just trying to understand what that means. AFCON is going to be coming to Africa's most travel accessible country.
Kenya.
Exactly. Think about it that way. It's going to be coming to a country with perhaps the second premier airline. It used to be the premier airline, but it's the second premier airline. Kenya
What's the
Airways.
first one? Ethiopian.
Ethiopian.
Yeah.
It's coming to a country that is perhaps one of the most cosmopolitan, vibrant cities in Africa, if not the most cosmopolitan. The number of small communities that are here, right? You see all that stuff you saw with the Congolese in Morocco? That is gonna be times 10 here.
What happened with the Congolese in Morocco?
The guy, like you saw, like their stand at AFCON was just filled with fanfare. Lots of fanfare, and they even had like this amazing guy, I will call him a mascot, but this amazing fan who would stand in the position of posturing as Patrice Lumumba for the whole match. And he became this huge phenomenon during the entire thing. That's going to be times 10 here because of the huge amount of Congolese people that reside
Correct.
in Nairobi.
Yeah, actually, that's
and
true.
reside in Kenya. Think about all the small countries, all the countries that have a huge presence here. Think about how easy it is to fly to Kenya, right? We're about to become this amazing cultural microcosm that the world is going to witness, because AFCON nowadays is a globally watched event. When you consider African diasporas, when you consider the amount of interest that it gets online, right? But somehow the only thing we're thinking about is elections. We have something a lot bigger to think about. We have an amazing platform that is coming to this country, but somehow, again, our nature to over-politicize our lives and our nature to only think as far as the next politicians will be able to let us is keeping us from thinking about the fact that there's this huge platform that is coming to this country, and that maybe many of us with the brains that we have should be thinking about how that is going to elevate us. Our country has never seen something like this before. It is crazy that a country like Kenya, right, has never hosted an AFCON. It's crazy, and we think of ourselves as the hype machines of this continent.
I think it'll be a good opportunity for most of us to, I think, make money, because
For sure.
it's a whole ecosystem and an event about it,
Yeah. So you can imagine, it's a tier 1 global sporting event happening here.
Do you think
All the stars of the Premier League that we are used to seeing, the African ones, they'll be
come
here.
here?
They'll be here. Their coaches will be here. Like, there'll be a lot going on.
For the tourism industry as well, that will do quite a lot.
So, like, not even tourism. Just like, if we allow our imaginations to go as far as they can,
There's so many possibilities.
there's so many possibilities. And it's coming right after a World Cup in America. So, like, again, I'm taking time to really just, again, expand my mind, truly understand what we should be thinking about. And also, I think, I agree with my friend, with John. And John, thanks a lot for this. Of just saying, like, you have to develop imagination beyond elections. You have to. I know it's important, and politics is a huge determinant of a lot of things, but there has to be room for something else. Man, there has to be room for something else. So that's
it's a very
largely
good
the
take.
theme. That's the theme. That's the theme I'm going for with my life right now.
I like that.
Yeah.
Imagine Ruto live streaming.
I would advise him to.
What's going on, chat?
Yeah. Imagine he puts like a phone on his. Because now
I think Ruto must go.
the implications of this thing is that now suddenly you'll start seeing a whole bunch of kids walking around with their phones
strapped. It's
after
crazy.
Sunday, and before Sunday we never saw that.
The power of just being mentioned once or twice on stream.
That's why all of them were like, say my name.
So,
Say my name.
like, there was even the Kenyan barber, that got shouted out,
Yeah.
who cut his hair. So you can imagine the kind of business he got from that.
Say my name, say my
Amazing.
name. And guess what? Then they shake his head, say my name, say my name. And he puts his high ear down, and then he comes and he says,
That's
what's
crazy.
your name? What's your name? Okay, then he says it.
Crazy,
And
man.
it's like for the people. And then once he says, you see the guy like have an orgasm.
Like,
Yeah?
the thing is, a lot of people were
Runs away.
a lot of people were commenting Ruto must go.
Yeah.
But imagine if he just said once, Ruto must go. What is that? That
He
clip.
said, who's Ruto?
Oh, he said.
Yeah, he did. But one thing I always tell people is this: if you really study voter apathy, in general, and just voting behavior, is that approval ratings have very little effect on election outcomes. You could be the president with the lowest rate of approval, but you can still win an election. It doesn't mean much.
Okay.
Yeah, it's still quite possible, which is why, like a lot of people are really asking Gen Z, it's fine that you don't approve of this guy, but where you must level up and mature up and figure out what political action looks like. Otherwise, what you're saying, even the Ruto must go slogan becomes empty. And he has enough years to be able to figure out what the counter to that slogan looks like. So even narratively, he can still counter it.
It'll be an interesting year ahead for us.
Yeah.
When are you heading back?
I can neither confirm nor deny. NIS might be watching this podcast.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time, bro.
We've not talked about GTA 6.
Shit, we can talk about it briefly.
Yeah, tell me what you thinking.
I'm fucking pissed off, bro. They've delayed it so much, man. At this point, I'm just like numb to it. My plan was to play GTA 5, so by the time it launches in November, initially, which was a plan, it's a smooth takeoff from there. Then they said, okay, we're going to do it in May. So I was like, so I'll start GTA 5 in Q4. Now they're saying this year it's going to be Q4 2026, and there's rumors where it is incomplete. There's Jason Schreier, who is a reporter from Bloomberg. He doesn't believe, and he says he won't be surprised if it doesn't hit the 2026 marks, because they still have a lot of content to fill in. There's still a lot of missions that they're redoing. It's crazy, man. I mean, you've been working on a game for 13, 14 years. My frustration in general is the overall caliber of games, the good quality games, are now taking so long to come. Is that a cat? Aww. Anyway. Sorry, I was distracted.
Be careful, unaweza ipata kwa samosa.
So it's taking so long to get good quality games. If you look at 2016, I think that was the last year where announcements were, we're going to have God of War coming out in the same year. We're going to have Spider-Man coming out in the same year. We're going to have Death Stranding coming out in the same year. So like 3 heavy hitters. How many serious games have you seen aside from Call of Duty and the FIFAs? They're all so spaced out and so far apart. I even get bored now.
So there's maybe
and then the woke mindset, sorry, like Ghost of Tsushima. You're playing as a lesbian samurai. And there's nothing wrong with that. I get you want to play as a woman, that's fine. Growing up for me, when I was watching Cartoon Network, these movies, I was looking at these machismo characters. He-Man.
I mean, gaming and masculinity.
Right?
There's an entire vertical around that.
Rambo and these masculine characters. Snake. Exactly.
Snake.
I
hear you.
So I still want to be able to relate to the character that way, because it's an escape from my life.
Yes.
But if you're going to make me play like a lesbian samurai,
I think that is interesting, but I need to point on one thing.
He can't speak the way he was speaking on Saturday.
So I think you are so right, because I think at some point, given what you're talking about, looks like that there's been an inflation in the industry, and the industry is breaking because of that inflation. And it's sort of similar to what people are talking about within the TV industry right now, where a lot of people are saying there's this new show called The Pit on HBO, which a lot of people are saying is a hit. But the one thing that's
What's
striking,
it called?
The Pit.
The Pit.
Yeah, but what's one thing that's striking about that industry, which I really wish we could speak more also about Kenyan local film industry, and I wish I knew more about it. But one of the things they're saying about that is that, for the longest, the reason The Pit is also very striking, not just as a show, but it's also in terms of its what is it called? Its value chain, right? That it is actually shot in a very different way. It's not similar to the cinematic series that we've been seeing for a long time. And it's 15 episodes, right?
Is it good? Is it any
long. Good? It's a long series. It's not the usual 8. Yeah, it's not the usual 8 episodes. It's a long series, 15 episodes. It's shot in a much, much more less
quality
cost heavy way. But they realize that I think the whole purpose of why people are watching TV is because of the story, right? So I think what's happened to the gaming industry is that for the longest time, they thought that the best way to deliver value to their players was by delivering these huge blockbuster games.
Sandboxes, open world.
Exactly. It's huge with all these crazy levels of detail and every single thing. But when Grand Theft Auto Vice City came out, it was the best game I'd ever played.
You and I were so obsessed with it.
Exactly. But it had the worst graphics
But according to us at that time, it was like, bro, I can see your boobs.
No, but think about it this way. Compared to MGS or Gran Turismo, it wasn't the best. It wasn't the best. Even San Andreas, by the time San Andreas was coming out, it was still very shitty Like PS2 graphics had already moved a long way, but they stuck with the hands were still...
Yeah, correct.
But it's one of the greatest games you'll ever play.
So good.
And I think that for me is an interesting indicator of where now Rockstar is perhaps the best representation of what that inflation looks like.
But if you look at it,
Yeah.
there's a picture we'll put up over here of Rockstar games and how frequent they released. I mean, if you look at the development cycle and how much they've delayed, and I'm a PlayStation fanboy, I'm a PlayStation dick rider. One of the premier industries for Sony is Naughty Dog. Naughty Dog, who's responsible for the Crash Bandicoot games, Uncharted, and Last of Us. These guys were removing a game every 2 years. The PlayStation 5 cycle, they haven't released one game. The games they've released are remasters of remasters.
Inflation is that, again, it's that project inflation, bigger budgets, bigger value chains, bigger process, which tends to end up breaking the entire thing.
But I think what fucked them, and maybe a lot of people don't know this, is live service games like Fortnite became so big and generated so much revenue, GTA 5 online, that gaming companies were saying, we release a product, it's dead and dusted after everyone finishes the campaign. Let us try and increase the longevity of it by focusing on online. So what Sony did was it took their top 10 studios and told them, whatever game you're releasing, release an online version. So they had to increase team effort, they had to split the teams and divide cycles. Naughty Dog, the online game they were making was based on Last of Us, where it was an open world, Fortnite-style Last of Us type game. They had to cancel it.
Why?
Because it just didn't work. You see, the thing is, if it works with something like, what's the shooter called? The one where you go on different planets and kill bugs.
Halo.
Huh?
Halo.
Helldivers. Helldivers 2. Helldivers 2, they got I played it and I got swooped in. It's an amazing online game and it's still carrying on. And the thing is, you can have that gameplay for years and you release new maps and new enemies and new weapons. So you keep the money coming in by same base product, which is what GTA 5 is doing with GTA Online. GTA Online is still going on 10 years on.
Still getting new.
And it's making them X amount of money. So there ain't no pressure. So most of the gaming studios diverted from having these cinematic campaigns with good gameplay mechanics and stories to having online that can generate. Because at the end of it, it's a business. And that's what fucked the industry. And that's why a lot of games are delayed. And people would release stuff online.
But don't you think that, I think it's dual pressures, right? So you've got the online gaming side coming in. But I mean, the clear pressure of the kind of big budget approach that they're taking to creating these games is also putting lots of pressure on the companies. Rockstar is about to break purely because of trying to build GTA 6.
Yeah.
Their workers are constantly on strike. Yeah.
There was a multifaceted reason for that.
But it's partly because of how much they're working just to get GTA 6 out.
So I will say this. They have enough money in the bank to even not release this game for 2-3 years. That being said, when GTA 6 comes out, forget iShowSpeed. Forget any IP, any entertainment product or service that you know. It will single-handedly
Shut
break
down the world.
all fucking records.
Yeah, I
What's
mean,
the first thing you're doing? You're babying a prostitute when you're in GTA 6. Oxy, you see, it's 6:24. Podcast ilianza 4 o'clock.
So I mean, I think I think it's a dual pressure thing.
You still play games, though, right?
I do.
I
do.
What are you playing right now?
Imagine I'm just playing PES. You know why? Because I'm too busy. I just need something I can pick up, play 10 minutes and be done. That's like junk food. I'm just doing junk food. Yeah.
I think they're planning on releasing the PlayStation 5/6 Portal. I'll definitely get that. With the amount of traveling you do, bro, you can just get the games
Oh, I would love that. Personally, I think I might have a need for that.
Imagine this.
Yeah.
Playing GTA 6
On
in
that-
business class.
It only works if you are in the same house.
No, that's PlayStation Portal. That's PlayStation Portable or whatever the shit they released.
I mean, I
There
just get
is a
maybe a
new
Switch.
PS Vita, PSP style system that's going to launch before PS6.
Steam Deck and you can do that as well.
Forget.
Yeah,
Listen,
or maybe
this
a
is not.
Steam-
This is not
yeah,
This is not a democracy. This is the United States of Sajid. I'm the president. I'm the emperor. I'm the king. That console suggestions. This is a communist state for PlayStation.
Jenga PC.
The Islamic Caliphate of PlayStation.
So, bro,
Huh?
I appreciate you.
Kabisa, man.
This has
Thanks a
been
lot
good.
for having me.
This has been good.
I hope I was not too serious.
No, you're trust me.
Yeah?
You guys learned a thing or two, Sindio. Exactly.
Good.
So now,
good.
as you get more comfortable,
Yeah.
we introduce alcohol so you can actually say what you mean. You should listen to this guy when he's drunk. But bro, thank you so much.
Good to see you, man.
We'll look
Cheers.
in April, the special occasion. I look forward.
Yes,
to,
absolutely.
and then we'll probably do another session over there.
We should. We should.
Over there.
You
No,
want to
no.
do a live there?
At the wedding.
While it's happening.
Madung,
Meet interview.
Ruto. No, but I hope you guys have learned a lot from him as well. You see why it's very interesting. Forget Eric. What does Eric know? Sijui, pontificate, acquiesce, using complicated words. We need people like Madung.
Hey,
But bro, thank you so much.
cheers.
Any closing parting words?
No.
Sir.
I don't. Do I have any? Do I have any closing parting words? No. Just enjoy your year,
Guys,
Enjoy your year.
you've
Don't
heard
be
that
too serious.
from the big man. Enjoy your year.
Don't be too serious.
Don't be
We're
too
still
serious.
in January. Don't be too serious.
We're still in January.
Eh.
Meskia. Thank you guys. This has been Coffee Pump, our first episode of the year in our brand new studio.
Absolutely.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers.